Hi friends, welcome to Rock Paper Suburbs. The holidays are quickly approaching, and if you're anything like me, you are very excited to get ready for Christmas and you want to make your Christmas prep as efficient as possible. As a mom of 5, I'm here to offer some hacks and family-friendly tips that will help you to embrace the heart of Christmas without the hassle. First up is decorating. Don't forget to put aside extension cords that are specific for the decoration that needs them. That means that the extension cord goes away in the box with the decoration and it does not get used for any other reason. That way, when it's time to decorate, you take out the extension cord that you need, it is ready for you, and at the end of the season, you put everything away together. If you have kids, getting them involved can be a huge help at Christmas. And one of the things that makes it easier for them to help is to set aside your non-breakable decorations and ornaments. That means they can put certain ornaments on the tree themselves. They can put up certain decor themselves. This is a bag that sheets came in. Anytime I get new bedding, I save these plastic containers because they're clear so you can see through them, and they zip up and they're sturdy. These make great storage for holiday decor. My kids also like to help with the non-breakable parts of our Christmas village, such as the little figurines and the Christmas trees, and they add buffalo snow. It's inexpensive and it's not breakable, so it's an easy way to get the kids to help you enhance any of your Christmas decorations. When it comes to decorating inside, the room that often gets overlooked is the kitchen. And I know you don't want to clutter up your surfaces with too many decorations because you're using your surfaces for food prep. So instead, I really recommend decorating your cabinets. A great and inexpensive way to do this is to use your cabinets to display the Christmas cards that you receive in the mail. We do this simply by taking ribbon from the craft store and running it around the outside of the cabinet doors. We secure them in the back with some twine or with some thread, and it holds them in place securely. And then we simply use clothespins that are festive and Christmas colored to hold them on. That means we don't have to deal with annoying tape or adhesives. And it's not only a great way to display our cards and to liven up our kitchen, but it's also eco-friendly because we can reuse our ribbon every single year. And speaking of Christmas cards, the key is to plan ahead. If you do a photo card, I recommend figuring out a time and a place to take your family's Christmas picture by Halloween, and then make sure that the pictures are taken by Thanksgiving. There is nothing like the panic of a mom realizing the week before Christmas that it's time to send cards and the photos have not been taken. The most efficient way that I have found to get Christmas cards out the door is to print them on labels. You can get these fun print labels on Amazon or at any office supply store, and you can download the template on the company's website and you keep it as a Word document with all your addresses in it. So when the time comes, you simply pop the print labels in your printer and you print off the addresses for your cards. And I get an assembly line going with my kids. One person puts on the stamp, another person puts on the address labels, and another person puts on the return address labels. The great thing about having a document with all your addresses in it is that you can simply update the addresses as needed throughout the year, and then they're ready to go when Christmas comes around. And don't forget the stamps. I try to remember to get stamps in November so that I have them ready to go when it's time to mail out the cards. Another big job at Christmas that you're going to want to keep as efficient as possible is wrapping. I like to wrap gifts in pillowcases. They're super durable. You can reuse them and you don't have to use those flimsy gift bags. And don't forget to make your tags ahead of time. I will take old Christmas cards at the end of the season, cut them up into fun shapes, and then I'll hole punch them and tie a ribbon through them, and I put them aside for next year. The back is perfect for writing to and from. Each one is unique and different, and you get to recycle your old Christmas cards. And if you're going to use wrapping paper, it's good to have a wrapping paper system. Keep everything in one place. The gift wrap, the bows, the ribbons, even tape and scissors. Keep everything together in one place so that you can wrap as efficiently as possible. Now, I know every house is different, but in our house on Christmas morning, there are gifts from mom and dad, and there are gifts that Santa brings. And Santa always wraps his gifts for our family in paper that has Santa's image on it. That way, when we see the gifts under the tree, we immediately know which ones are from the man in the red suit. So if you have kids, you know that they get really excited around Christmas and they really want to help. But sometimes I'm at a loss for ways to keep them busy. So one thing that I really recommend is to have a craft bin with Christmas specific activities. Right now, our crafts that are out are for Thanksgiving, and in a week and a half, we're going to switch over to Christmas, and we'll have Christmas crafts, Christmas stickers, everything Christmas to keep them busy, because they are going to want to stay busy getting ready for Christmas, just like mom and dad. And speaking of keeping your kids busy, if you're tired of your kids getting amped up on sugar from their advent calendars, make a Jessie tree instead. Every day you hang an ornament on your Jessie tree in preparation for Christmas. If you're looking for specific directions on how to make a Jessie tree, I have some recommendations in a blog post on the Rock Paper Suburbs blog, and you can find that link in the notes below. And if you want to keep your kids busy further, make new Jessie tree ornaments every year instead of reusing the ones from last year. When your kids are super excited for Christmas and you're trying to keep them busy, remember, novelty is key. We have these sweet polar bears that I think I bought actually as decor several years ago, and they quickly became my kids' favorite, and they only come out in the month of December, and after New Year's, they go away into hibernation, then they come back out the next December. Gift giving is obviously a big part of the Christmas season. So what I like to do is keep a spreadsheet of everyone we gave a gift to last year, and then I use that as the basis for next year's gift buying. Don't forget to update for all of your kids' teachers and bus drivers, because those can change from year to year. And when it comes time to give gifts to children, books are always a great idea. And I know some families, the kids will receive one gift that they can read, one that they can wear, and one that they can play with. So books are a really popular choice. When you're giving a gift to a child who's not living in your household, the problem is that you don't always know what books they have, and so it's important to come up with some really original book ideas. If you're looking for a recommendation, my 7-year-old son wrote this book called The Traveling T-Rex. You can find it on Amazon, and everyone who reads it comments that they love how authentic it is, because it's written and illustrated by a 7-year-old, and it's told in an authentic 7-year-old voice. So if you're looking for something new and original that the children in your life probably have not read already, you can find The Traveling T-Rex on Amazon. The T-Rex travels, he plays baseball, he has all kinds of adventures, so we hope that you'll enjoy this book. Okay, the Christmas tree. I don't personally have a strong opinion one way or the other, whether it's best to have a real tree or an artificial tree. For us, in this phase of life, we really enjoy getting a live tree and cutting it down on a tree farm. There are a couple of things you're going to want to keep in mind. First, I recommend calling the tree farm or the tree farms that you plan to visit to see ahead of time if they have the right size tree for your space. There is no experience like traipsing around a tree farm, walking through the mud with everyone all bundled up in their winter gear, shivering, getting tired, and getting hungry as you try to search for the right size tree that doesn't have a crooked trunk. And speaking of the right size, don't forget to measure. We have made the mistake of looking at trees on the tree farm and thinking that the tree is the perfect size and realizing it is actually really big in our living room. You're going to want to not just measure the height, but also the width. Sometimes the width is actually trickier than the height. And don't forget to measure the height, because some tree farms charge you based on a price per foot. So you definitely don't want to end up paying for height that you're not even going to appreciate in your house. Once you get the tree to your house, this is one of the most important hacks I can recommend on this list. Make sure you have a really good tree stand. You will pay more for an effective tree stand, but it is so worth it. We have a kind that has a pedal and you push down on the pedal with your foot and it just tightens up around the trunk of the tree, and it is such an improvement over the tree stands that we have had in the past. And I don't know about you, but I still like to send thank yous in the mail if I can manage to write them, but it is really hard to write the thank yous and address the envelopes and actually get the thank yous in the mail. So my recommendation is to address your thank yous ahead of time if you know who's going to be giving you a gift. That way you can just focus on actually writing a nice thank you and then just drop it in the envelope and put it in the mail when it's ready to be sent. Plus, if the envelope is sitting there empty, you know you forgot to write that thank you and it serves as a useful reminder. Christmas munchies are so good, aren't they? I know there are going to be days when you're going to be cold and you're going to want some hot chocolate. So I recommend making hot chocolate bombs ahead of time and keeping them in the freezer. I just have them in these individually wrapped goodie bags, and then I put them in a container in the freezer, and anytime we want hot chocolate, we just pull them out and drop them in. Same goes for cookie dough. Rather than waiting to make your cookie dough when it's time to actually make the cookies, make the dough ahead of time. Just stick it in the freezer and then you can just enjoy decorating the cookies with your kids. When you're prepping for Santa to come, don't forget the reindeer. We like to make reindeer food ahead of time. Some people use glitter. If you want an eco-friendly version, if you're going to be sprinkling the reindeer food out in your yard, for example, I think a great way to make it is with oatmeal and raisins. That makes a great snack for the reindeer. Store it, and you just take it out on Christmas Eve and you scatter it, and then the reindeer are all taken care of. Another thing to think about is that if you have overnight guests who are going to be staying with you, I really recommend keeping some extra stockings on hand, because stockings are something that people often don't remember to bring with them when they're traveling for Christmas. And what a treat it is for your overnight guests to wake up and realize that Santa has filled their stockings. When it comes to outdoor Christmas lights, plan ahead. I live in a part of the country where it's usually cold in December, but we often get some warmer days here and there in November. So take advantage of the warm weather to decorate outside when it's a comfortable temperature. You can put the Christmas lights up ahead of time, just don't turn them on yet. And when it comes to the elf, which has become pretty ubiquitous in our culture, since that's its own topic, I recommend watching my video on minimizing holiday regret. I have the link to that YouTube video in the notes below. And if you have your own family-friendly tips and Christmas hacks, please get in touch, share them in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I hope that you will subscribe, because we're going to be talking about all kinds of family-related topics, the holidays, raising a family, and I hope that you'll stay in touch and that you will have a beautiful holiday season. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, a happy and healthy New Year, and I hope that you will enjoy the time with your family no matter how you celebrate.